Brilliant, thank you. So thank you everyone for joining us this morning. I'll just do a little introduction before we get going, just as people are joining us. So my name is Amy Niven and I am the Programme Manager for Reading and Health at the Reading Agency. And I'm joined by my colleague, Hannah Pimble, who is the Programme Officer for Reading and Health. And we're here this morning to tell you a little bit more about Reading Well for Dementia, our Reading Well for Dementia scheme, as it is Dementia Action Week. So Hannah, if I can have the next slide, please. Perfect, thank you. So before we get started, I just wanted to tell you a little bit more about who we are. So the Reading Agency is a UK charity with a mission to inspire social and personal change through the proven power of reading. Across our programmes, we work with our trusted partners as well as people of all ages and communities to share the transformative benefits of reading for happy, healthy and thriving lives. We really want to get people fired up about reading because everything changes when you read. If I can have the next slide, please. Thank you. So before we get into the Reading Well for Dementia scheme, we're going to give you a little bit more background to the programme. So we know that there is a need for reading well in terms of general mental health. We know that there is 1 in 6 people in England and Wales, 1 in 4 people in Scotland, and 1 in 5 people in Northern Ireland who are currently experiencing symptoms for common mental health problems. Looking at dementia specifically, there are currently over 900,000 people with dementia in the UK. The Alzheimer's Society reported last year that the number of people living with dementia in the UK is expected to reach 1.4 million by 2040. There are currently around 700,000 unpaid carers in the UK caring for people with dementia, and it's thought that 1 in 3 people will care for someone with dementia in their lifetime, and 1 in 2 people will be affected by dementia in their lifetime. There's also a high cost of care for dementia in the UK. The total annual cost of care for people with dementia in the UK is £34.7 billion, which is approximately £30,000 to £40,000 per person with dementia per year. So next slide, please, Hannah. Thank you. So we know that there are many benefits of reading. People want access to accurate, reliable and trustworthy information to help them manage their health and well-being. We've included a couple of examples here on the screen, but we know from our own original research at the Reading Agency that 1 in 3 adults want to read more books about how to manage their health and well-being. Reading as an activity is associated with improved mental health and well-being, with regular readers benefiting from better sleep, concentration, and the ability to cope with difficult situations. During reading activity, residents living with dementia report more meaningful engagements with others. They expressed more pleasure, less anxiety and fear, and less sadness than before the reading activity. Bibliotherapy, which is the use of reading to help improve mental health, has shown positive effects on reducing depression, improving someone's ability to deal with problem behaviours, and in reducing anxiety among caregivers. We know regular readers for pleasure also report fewer feelings of stress and depression than non-readers, as well as stronger feelings of relaxation from reading than from watching television. If I could have the next slide, please. Thank you. So what is reading well? Reading well helps people to understand and manage their health and well-being using recommended reading. The books are chosen and endorsed by health professionals and people with lived experience. Books include book-based cognitive behavioural therapy, self-help information, fiction, poetry and personal stories. Reading Well is developed by the Reading Agency, working in partnership with Libraries Connected and the Society of Chief Librarians Cymru in Wales, with funding from Arts Council England and Welsh Government. So in Wales, books and resources are also translated into Welsh, and all the schemes are available bilingually across the 22 library authorities. The schemes are also available in Northern Ireland and Scotland, although they may not be as widely available as they are in England and Wales. You can check with your local library, who'll be able to tell you if they have them in stock, or they can always order the books in for you as well. So we currently have 4 Reading Well schemes, including Reading Well for Children, which is aimed at children 7 to 11 years old, and Reading Well for Teens, which is aimed at teenagers 13 to 18 years old. We also have Reading Well for Adult Mental Health, which includes support for common mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety and panic, obsessions and compulsions, stress, sleep problems, eating disorders, as well as difficult experiences such as bereavement and loss. So our most recent list, Reading Well for Dementia, launched last year in May for Dementia Action Week. My colleague Hannah is going to tell you a little bit more about the scheme in a moment. But first, can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So how does Reading Well actually work? So Reading Well aims to support people who are waiting for a diagnosis or treatment. It's not supposed to be a replacement for seeing a health professional, but it can provide additional information and support for people if they're currently waiting for an appointment, or waiting on a diagnosis, or they just want to know more information about their condition. It can also be helpful for family or carers to know more information about a condition. A GP, nurse, or other professional might recommend helpful reading to you during your appointment, or you can also access the books yourself from the open shelves of your local public libraries. The books are all free to borrow from your local library, and if you're not already a member, it's easy and free to join. A member of library staff can help you with this. So libraries can support you to access books in the format you need, and that includes large print, audiobooks, and ebooks. Local libraries also provide information and activities, including activities specifically for people affected by dementia, and offer information about local services. Have the next slide, please. Thank you. Perfect. So the Reading Well scheme has a wide reach across the country. The lists are endorsed by health professionals and are independently evaluated every year, so we know how effective the programme is at helping people understand more about their health. Since Reading Well launched back in 2013, over 3.9 million Reading Well books have been borrowed from public libraries in the UK. 92% of adults have found their Reading Well book helpful. 81% of people surveyed said that their book helped them to understand more about their health needs, and 90% of health professionals said that books help support people outside of their appointments and feel more confident about self-managing their symptoms. So that's just some examples of the impact that Reading Well is having in the UK. So I will now hand over to Hannah, who will provide more information about Reading Well for Dementia.
Thank you, Amy. Yes. So the reason we're all here, Reading Well for Dementia. So it offers a list of helpful reading and digital resource recommendations for people who are affected by dementia. As Amy's already mentioned, the scheme launched on the 13th of May last year during Dementia Action Week. Dementia Action Week was a little bit earlier last year than it is this year. And it's supported by a number of professional health bodies, including the Royal Colleges, as well as leading health charities, including Alzheimer's Society and Dementia UK, among many others. So obviously we've got the professional support side, but then, as Amy said, all Reading Well schemes are co-produced. So what this really means is that we work jointly with people with lived experience to create these schemes. And when we were developing Reading Well for Dementia, we teamed up with an organisation called Innovations in Dementia, and they exist to help people with dementia keep control of their lives and be happy. So Innovations in Dementia pulled together a panel of people with dementia and their carers, and then through a series of themed workshops, as well as some online surveys, the panel helped us to shape everything about the scheme right from the very start. So right from when we were deciding about the approach for the scheme, and by that I mean things like who it should be for, what it should cover, any other important things that we should be keeping in mind. So choice of language, and accessibility considerations and things like that. They helped us with choosing the books for the list, of course, and they even helped us with designing the promotional materials and planning the launch, so right from start to finish. And there are a couple of quotes on the screen here from people who were involved in that co-production panel, just about what the scheme means to them. So Andy here says, "Dementia is very isolating. Reading personal stories that are on this list helps you realise that you're not alone. That self-help is great." And similarly, Keith, who was on our panel, he says here, people with dementia will pick up these books and realise by reading them they're not alone. It will improve their knowledge and give them hope and strategies to live as well as possible and to know that people care. So onto the book list itself. There are 20 titles on the list in England, and there are 21 in Wales. That's because in Wales there is an additional original Welsh language book. The book list itself includes helpful reading for people who are living with dementia, their family, friends and carers, to support them to understand more about dementia. And the books do this through offering a range of health information, there are personal stories from the perspective of people with dementia, as well as from the perspective of people who are caring for someone with dementia. And there are also some age-appropriate books for children. And that was something that the co-production group told us was really, really important. To help widen access as much as possible, titles on the list are available in a range of different formats, including ebooks and audiobooks, as well as, of course, traditional print books. And then alongside the book list, there's also a list of digital resources where you can go for further information and support. These resources are all listed on our website, and they're also signposted to from the printed Reading Well for Dementia leaflet that many libraries will stock. And all of these digital resources have been through the same selection process as the books, so they are very much quality assured as well. But you can browse the full book list and the list of digital resources on our website. We'll put a link to the website address at the end of today's session if you want to go away and have a look in more detail at any of the books or resources. But we really like to hear what people think about the books on the list. There is an online survey where you can submit your comments to us. And you can find the link to the survey on our website. And again, it's also on the printed leaflet that many libraries will stock. So if you do go and borrow one of the books today from your local library, please do share your views with us afterwards. Your feedback, I know we're all asked to fill in surveys all the time, but your feedback really does help us when we're developing new lists. And it also helps us to demonstrate the difference that Reading Well is having on people's lives. So it's really, really valuable and we really appreciate it. Back to libraries. Public libraries do lots of great work to support health and well-being of their local communities. And Reading Well is an important part of this. So as we've said already, all library authorities in England and Wales stock Reading Well titles, as well as many libraries in Scotland and Northern Ireland as well. And library staff will be able to tell you more about how you can join the library if you're not already a member, and how you can go about borrowing the Reading Well books for free. But they also offer a range of other free resources and activities to support people who are affected by dementia. So we've got some examples on screen here. It's not an exhaustive list, there are lots more, but things like dementia cafes and singing groups, adult social clubs. Lots will have memory boxes and sensory bags that can be used in the library or loaned. And some even have some quite exciting high-tech interactive equipment and games as well that you can use in the library or borrow. But as we all know, it's Dementia Action Week right now, so lots of libraries will be shining a spotlight on everything that they have available. So it's definitely worth popping in or getting in touch with your local library to see what's on offer in your local area if you haven't already. So we have finished up a little bit early going through all of that. So we've got plenty of time now for questions and answers. If you do have any about Reading Well or about the Reading Well for Dementia scheme specifically. But also on screen now, what we've got is the link to the Reading Well webpage on our website. So if you do want to go in your own time and have a bit of a look to find out more, you can find more information at that link. Or of course, you're welcome to email us anytime, and the email address for us is on screen as well there. That's everything from us. So hand over to the audience now to see if you have any questions. We're very happy to help.
Don't think we have many coming through in the chat, but like Hannah said, if anyone does have any questions that pop up after today, do get in touch with us from our email address, which is still on the screen, readingwell@readingagency.org.uk. We're always happy to send more information about the scheme or how to access the scheme. If you're not sure who your local library authority is, you can find that out from our website as well. So on the Reading Agency website, you can go to find a library and type in your postcode, and it will take you to your nearest library authority, and that will give you information about the opening times of the libraries, as well as what activities they've got on during the week. So do go and have a look at that. Otherwise, if you want to know more about Reading Well, do visit our website, and all of the books are on there, as well as the supporting digital resources. Yep, I think that's probably it from us, but thank you all so much for joining us this morning. It has been wonderful to tell you a little bit more about the Reading Well for Dementia scheme, especially during Dementia Action Week. We hope you're all doing lots of brilliant things this week while we're shining a spotlight on dementia. And please do get in touch with us if you need more information. Thank you.